Okay, so hi, this is Fox128 here, and I'm gonna show you a game I played on leeches.org this time. The game was played with 5 minutes and an 8-second increment, which is pretty common on leeches. And in this game, my opponent played some bad moves in the early opening, and I'm gonna show you how to exploit that. And there is a very easy game plan to it, a very systematic thought. So game started like normal e4, e5, and now um, he played I think it's called Philidor defense. And here you could play d4 right away, but I played bishop c4, which is also very nice and keeps the advantage of just being white and having a move. And he played here it starts getting a little bit awkward. He played h6, and now there's a couple good moves. I could play d4 again, um, but here I thought I just castle. The point being, and it's actually a good move. The point being, he isn't even close to castling. I have already developed two of my minor pieces. And I already castled, and he isn't even close to castling or developed. He hasn't developed anything. Literally, he hasn't developed any of his pieces. So, if after this, my game plan is very easy, and this is something you should look forward to in your own games. Then you have advantage in development, and you castle, and your opponent cannot castle the next couple moves. You just go ahead and break down the center, and then his king will be a big target. So again, he played a very stupid move actually. I'm sorry. He played a6, which doesn't develop any of his pieces and just gives me more time to do my stuff. So now I played d4, which is the best move, even the computer is suggesting it. And now he played knight c6. Now in some variations you might see d5, but in this case, because like I said just before, since we already castled and he isn't even close to it, we just want to break down the center, so that's exactly what we do. And here he took back with his pawn, which, well, I don't know if that's actually a good move. Because now, and I overlooked this, and I thought of this variation. There is a very nice tactical shot here, and if you can spot it, you are probably a good player. Now, if this knight wasn't here, I would have done it. I would have I would have gone for it. The move is bishop takes f6, and I didn't play this. This is just a variation. I'm going to show you. Now, the best move is to take. And now, if this knight wasn't here, we could just grab the queen, of course. So yeah. But in this case, and I just didn't see this. We have this nice in-between move of knight taking on e5 with check, and now again, if the knight takes, we are just winning the queen, of course. So he cannot do that, and actually the best move is king to e6. And in this case, now we just grab the queen. He has to take back, of course. And now knight g6 is just completely winning, because there is no way to defend. If he moves his rook, we still win the rook, and we win the bishop, because we grab the bishop with check. We have to fork on the rook, so there is no way to defend here and to preserve this rook. So actually the best move for him would be knight f7 here, but we are already completely winning. And in this case we just grab the bishop with check, and then something like king f6. So he's trying to trap our knight, and I think he might do that, but okay, so here we play some calm move. Actually not that calm, because bishop e2 is coming. So this is completely winning if I just took on f7 with my bishop, which I didn't do. So taking this pawn is a mistake. So instead he should have played something like bishop e7, bishop e6, bishop maybe bishop g4 to pin my knight to my queen, something like that would be the best. But like I said, I didn't see this. I didn't use this tactic, and instead I just developed my knight, and I thought, of course, also just taking the queen right now is also fine. It's also completely winning actually, because if you take with his king, we can move our rook over with tempo, with check, and if he takes with his knight is moving backwards, and we can just grab this e5 pawn after that with our knight. So just taking the queen is also fine, but I thought, well, might just develop and keep this tension. And this is actually a mistake, because now really he could play something like bishop d6 and or something, so to prevent all of my threats. But he played f6, which is interesting, to protect his pawn. And now taking is not the best move. Instead, the computer is suggesting something like just queen e2. But I thought at this point, okay, I'm gonna take, and I'm still ahead of in development. And he took with his king, which is actually very interesting. He should have taken with his knight, and it's moving backwards, but his king is safe, and he can redevelop his knight easily. He has so many squares his knight can go to, so he should have taken with his knight, but instead he took with his king. And here there is actually the computer is suggesting h3, interestingly. I'm not sure about that. So we play rook d1, which is fine too. And here, I don't know why my opponent wasn't the best. He should have played bishop d6 or something like that. Instead he played king e8 even is okay, but he played king e7, which is just plain losing. And I didn't go for it this move, because I was like, there is all of these threats, and but first I wanna develop more pieces, so I played bishop e3, but actually there is two moves that are completely winning here. One of them is knight h4, threatening this fork on g6. Now the king cannot protect any of these. He cannot go to f7 to protect this g6 square because of my bishop being here. And if he moves his rook, then we can just grab the knight. So his rook is basically lost. King e6 is the best move here, and now knight g6 coming, and then something like knight a5. We just actually bishop d5 here, okay, and now bishop g6. So there is some threats he can throw at us, but it's soon. Now we are on his bishop and on the rook, so there is no way. He might throw something more at us, like c6, and at this point we just grab. And if so it's completely winning. Knight h4, also knight d5 kind of does the same. You have this double threat. Actually, wherever his king goes, if it goes to one of these squares, the bishop is covering those, and if he goes on this line, on this file, the rook is covering them. And if he goes here, lastly, we get this fork. So wherever the king moves, it's just not good, and we can move the knight with check. Wherever he goes, we can move the knight with check. So that's also very nice. But like I said, I played bishop e3, and well, he could have played king e8 here, or something to be, he's still losing, but to prevent most of these really bad things happening to him. But he played b6, and now I actually played the first move, which is knight e5 check, and now we have the same thing going, like I showed you. And so wherever the king goes, we can deliver a discover check or a check if he goes to e8. And he actually went to f7, and now the best move suggested is actually just taking c7. But I thought, if I'm winning his rook and deliver a check, I might as well just break down his pawn chain and take on b6. But it's not the best move. The best move is to take on c7. However, it's still completely winning. Now, of course, he blocks with his bishop. We take that, so he grabs it back, and now we grab the rook. Now he played bishop d6, which is actually a good move considering the situation. But I mean, the game is actually over at this point, and here the computer is suggesting some core moves like knight e2. Here I thought my knight might get trapped, and I didn't want to load it. So I just grabbed this bishop and he took back, and now I delivered this check, and I'm also on this pawn. I'm up a full piece. I'm up pawns. This pawn will drop. So we have two outside passed pawns, so this is just completely winning for white, and I'm not gonna show you the game after this. Not just because it's completely winning and easy to win. I also played some mistake, some bad moves after this, but it's just boring, so I'm not gonna show it. And I hope you enjoyed and got something out of it. See you next time.